This will be available, because Kathy reminded me, will be available to view and download afterwards if you ask me for it. Okay, this is Yoga Online with Via, the 23rd of March, 2020. So we're starting supine. Your legs are on a chair, but you want to look, everyone, first of all, sorry for the confusion. Before we do this, why doesn't everyone go ahead and pin Kathy as a video, pin Kathy's video. So go to go to her picture, Kathy Hampton, and the 3 dots, and then say pin video. So there, so that she's going to be my model today.
It kind of hurts there, so I'm just going to put them out. Is that okay?
Yes. So see, her knees are directly over her hips. And I haven't cued this in the past, but if you bring your heels are on the chair, but Dana says, no, that's uncomfortable for her, so she's not going to do that. But if your heels are on the chair.
Arms.
Oh, your arms are uncomfortable. Okay.
The neck, angle, I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, the cactus thing, that's a little.
So cactus, if you're tight across your chest or your shoulders, you're going to find that that's going to be a hard position to be in. And Dana, you can either skip it or you can put something like a blanket underneath your arms to just support them, because what's happening is your shoulders are tight. Your upper back and shoulders are tight. And so gradually over time, as you do the cactus position, it will change that and start to open up your chest. But in the beginning, you might need some support. So just stay here and breathe, start to breathe. We always open the class with breath work. If we had time, or if you have time, you could spend a lot of time here, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. Releases the psoas muscle that gets so tight as we sit, and it's going to also release the lower back and the upper back, especially if you have your arms out in cactus. Just nothing to do, just take this shape and watch your breath. And then spend some time noticing the breath and noticing the space around your breath. So the breath is a thing, the space around the thing. This is a meditation, a very nice meditation practice. In this case, we're noticing breath and space around breath, but you could also notice sound, space around sound, thought, space around thought. Let's take a few minutes to love our diaphragm, or to pay attention to the diaphragm. COVID-19 is a respiratory disease, and it's one of the reasons I'm focusing on this is so that you can try to maintain or improve your respiratory health. So we did this last week, but I want you to make a crook with your hands and then place them grab underneath the rib cage. So you crook them and grab, poke underneath. It's a massage, really, all the way along your rib cage. So make a hook with your hands, and then press underneath. And when you get there, what you're reaching for, looking for, and you will find is your diaphragm. And often it's stuck, which actually limits our breathing. So just massage all the way, using both hands in a hook, massage all the way to the side, all the way down the side, and then all the way up to the sternum. And spend some time there, and if you have a little ache, just stay there. Unless it hurts too much, then go to another place. So really dig in, you guys. And now go ahead and take some breath. Start to notice your breath so you're still grabbing your diaphragm, the tissue. The diaphragm is a muscle. You're grabbing it or poking at it. And then as you breathe, inhale, it pushes your fingers out. So you've hooked around the bottom of the rib cage. You're touching your diaphragm, and then you inhale, and it pushes your fingers out. And do that all along the ridge of the rib cage. Pushes it out, and then you'll notice then you're allowed back in when you exhale. Inhale, your fingers are going to be pushed out. And exhale, you can come back in. If I were you, I would hold on. I'm going to have to.
Kathy?
No, I'm teaching a class right now. You can't come in. I said, don't come between 10 and 11. Check your. I'm teaching. After 10:30. After 11:30. Okay. Okay, sorry. Confusing. That was someone coming to pick up some things that had left in the apartment. I told them not to come between 10:30 and 11:30, and she just told me, "Oh, I thought you said come between 10:30 and 11:30."
Oh, no.
So, oh my gosh. Now, so that is diaphragm massage and breath. And now we're going to do rib cage breathing, which is also focusing on the diaphragm. And you're going to put your hands around the bottom of the rib cage, at the bottom of the rib cage, or bottom of the chest, and fingers down, fingers up, thumbs down. And then we take a breath. This is a breathing pattern where you're going to focus on the rib cage. Inhale and exhale. And when you inhale, notice that you're expanding the rib cage from side to side. And then back to front. So you want to feel expansion of the rib cage and the diaphragm as deep as you can. I want you to do 4 more rib cage breaths. The belly should not be moving.
Your belly should not be lifting.
Well, no, I didn't say that. I said it, oh, the belly, yeah, the belly should not be lifting much. It might lift a little, but I want you to focus the breath work into the rib cage or the diaphragm or the thorax, the thoracic spine. Actually, they're saying now that some people will get coronavirus and not know it. And I think the people who will get coronavirus and not know it are people who have very healthy respiratory systems.
But they're still contagious.
They're still contagious.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of us are locked down right now. Maybe all of us.
Our state's going into that.
Not yet.
They're trying to push it. Yeah. Not yet.
And then go ahead and allow yourself to stop this breathing practice. What am I hearing? What am I hearing? Is that from me? I'm going to mute everybody. See if that works, helps. Now we're going to practice actually two things that are a pair that go together. You're going to bring your arms behind your head, interlace your fingers, and create a cradle for your occipital ridge, the base of your skull. And then press your head, the skull, into your hands. Hold for a breath or two, and then release. And repeat, this is called head ramping. So add a breath. So inhale, press, hold. You can go ahead and breathe here. And then come back with an inhale or an exhale. So always add your breath and awareness. Become aware of, it's called, now people are calling it embody. Embody the movement. So feel the occipital ridge nod forward over C1, the top of the cervical spine. The chin drops. The nose drops forward also. And then release and come on back. Do that a couple more times. This is a great move, probably the best move for counteracting forward head or rounded shoulders. Text neck, using your computer, using your cell phone, and that rounding over that we get. And then go ahead and stop the head ramp and just glide. So 10 degrees, it's the same movement to start with, but then you're going to also go back. So your head nods 10 degrees forward, and then it goes backwards 10 degrees. It's a small movement, but it's a gliding movement that we lose when we don't use it. So you're using it here, gliding. It's called a C1 glide. If you have therapy balls, you can put a set of therapy balls under your head, which kind of helps you glide, like they're little wheels. So it's a little nod forward and then a little rock backwards. And before we move on to some core work, core breath work, core and pelvic floor breath work, let's do, keep your hands there if you can, or put them down, but stay supine. And we're going to do a vagus nerve reset. This is a major de-stressing movement that you can practice anywhere, anytime. You don't have to be lying down, but we're going to do it lying down. So you don't move anything except your eyeballs. So your head is resting in your hands, your interlaced hands, and you're going to shift your eyeballs. You can do this eyes open, eyes closed. Shift your eyeballs to the right and wait for an involuntary yawn, gulp, sigh, or there's a third one, but which I can't recall right now. I'll get it later. Gulp, gulp, swallow, sigh, or yawn. There's the 4 of them. Once you're finished with that, and remember, it's not something you do, it's something that happens. It's an involuntary nervous system response, release of the vagus nerve. And then go ahead and come back to center, and then shift your eyeballs, not moving anything else. Nothing else moves, just the eyeballs shift to the left. Now, the vagus nerve is what tells us to be afraid or stressed out or overwhelmed, or to feel relaxed and safe and at ease. So we spend a lot of time on overwhelm, fighting or flighting. And this is a practice to restore your nervous system to the calming, healing, relaxing, restoring side. Come back to center and do that 2 more times without my cue. 2 more sets, right, left, right, left. If you're not finding a swallow, yawn, gulp, or sigh yet, just keep practicing this and it'll come as you practice. Practico, practico, practico. Can you guys hear me all right? Yeah, good. Thanks for the nod, Kathy. I know I have you all on mute and then I asked your question. So that's kind of crazy. I have a new computer and the audio is, and the volume is much better than my old one. Now we're going to spend a little time doing a breathwork practice that is for the core. It's core work, breath work, and pelvic floor work all rolled into one. It's called hypopressives. A lot of yoga and Pilates teachers are adding it to their classes now. It's a practice that was developed about 10 years ago in Spain. Hypopressives. We're going to do a hypopressive bridge. So we're going to do a traditional yoga bridge and add the hypopressive breath. So you'll need to leave your chairs, scoot your chairs, push your chair aside. Bend your knees. Dorsiflex your toes, so your toes are up toward the ceiling, your heels are on the floor. And bring your arms beside you, palms down at a 45-degree angle. You may want to put some towels, stack some towels underneath your head. What you're trying to go for is a neutral cervical spine. So you don't want to be dipping back too far or forward too far. So we're not going to do that one, Kathy. We're going to do the bridge one, the bridge hypopressive. So put your hands beside you, palms down, 90-degree angle, 45-degree angle, and take 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. At the bottom of the exhale, hold your inhale out. No inhale. Lift your hips. Bring your arms overhead by your ears. Stay here. I'm going to count, no breath. I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, and then exhale and bring everything down to the floor. We're going to do it again. This is a hypopressive bridge. So you get all the benefits of a bridge and all the benefits of hypopressives. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold your breath out. No breath. Lift your hips. Bring your arms overhead. I'm going to count to 10 for you. 1, no breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Inhale, and then exhale. Bring your hips down and your arms down. Just stay here and rest. Breathe. You can hug your knees or and rock from side to side, or you can keep your feet on the floor and just swipe your legs, knees from side to side, either one. And we're still going to stay here supine for a few more moves. We're going to do some basic scapula and shoulder work. All of the work in the shoulders, any work we do in the shoulders is going to help with the respiratory system. So we're continuing on that theme for at least a while. Kathy, we're going to do some scapula work here. Kathy's going to bring her arms straight up toward the ceiling, palms facing each other, about shoulder distance apart. And on an inhale, she's going to spread her scapula away from the spine. And because she does that, her arms go up, and then she's going to bring her scapula toward the spine, and her arms go down. So the movement is in the scapula. Up you go, away you go, and toward the spine you go. And keep going, inhaling one direction, exhaling the other. And what's important here is to keep your arms straight and use the scapula for the movement. So it's not an arm movement. You're not lifting your arms. The scapula is opening or closing, and the arms are going, are moving because the scapula moved. So become aware of the scapular movement and do this 1 or 2 more times. And then go ahead and bring your scapula back to a neutral position and inhale and exhale, take your arms overhead by your ears. So overhead arms, you may be able to get to the floor, you may not be able to get to the floor. This practice is a slow moving practice and no pain. So if you start to feel that you've gone too far, you have gone too far, and you just make it different. So come on back, Kathy. So the arms go up. So now they go out. Maybe you can exhale here. Exhale. Arms go overhead. This is an arm bone. The head of the arm bone is moving in the glenohumeral joint. This is a movement that we lose actually very easily through injuries or aging. So arm overhead, and then coming back to the neutral, the beginning position. So keep your arms straight. They start straight up overhead, and then on a breath, they go overhead. And if you want to, you can stay here with your arms overhead and take some breaths. This is actually a power position, among other things. So staying here is a powerful thing to do for your emotional condition and your body and your breath. Come on back and do that a couple more times. And if you want to, you can take a couple breaths as you're over your ears. So you start with your arms overhead, and then you go from that position to the arms by the ear position. And then you return. So one of the reasons we move slowly is we're trying to retrain or remind the brain how to move well in this, how the arm bone could move well in this position. This is a fundamental, functional movement of the arm bone in the glenohumeral joint. And come on back and bring your arms beside your hips. We're going to do flying pizzas. This is a movement. This is the third of a triplet. I'm hoping you can remember these things in triplets. I'm trying to teach in triplets so that you can remember them and maybe do them at home. So Kathy's going to bring her arms. So her elbows are going to stay tucked in at her waist. Her forearms are toward the ceiling, palms facing each other. And then she's going to open up the arms out to the side. So keep the elbows at a 90-degree angle, Kathy. So it's up higher. So yes, it's more like that. Keep the elbows tucked in. You should feel the work. This is a corrective movement to strengthen the upper back and the scapula, the rotator cuff muscles around the scapula, really. So when the arms come up, they face each other, and then when they come out, they face your ears, actually. Nice. Keep going. Can everyone feel this? I say with everybody muted. Can you feel this, Ace? I unmuted you.
I feel something. I hope I'm doing it right.
I'm gonna pin your video for me so I can look at you. So open up. And as you open so keep your arms at a 90-degree angle. So they go out to the side. Yes, like that. Now, bring them back. The next time, as you go out, rotate. If this is a wrist movement as well. So as you go out, rotate the wrist towards your ears. There, that's the flying pizza, actually. And then come on back. It would look more like a flying pizza if you were standing. That's it. So now open, and as you open, rotate and go out. And stay 90-degree angle at the elbow. Keep the elbows tucked in. That's it. Breathe. And what you should feel is some work at the scapula. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm going to mute you now. And pin Kathy again. Finish up. And come onto your belly. So find your way into a prone position with your belly on the floor. You can start with your arms, your head resting on your arms. This is called a crocodile resting pose. So go ahead and cross your arms in front of you, Kathy, and show them the resting pose, because we're going to go into that pose you have now in a minute. But this is a very nice resting pose. One of the nice things about resting in this pose is that you can do belly breathing here, and you get feedback from the floor. You can try it here. Just breathe at the belly. So we were focusing on breathing at the rib cage, but I want you to breathe with an awareness and attention on your belly. Expand the belly on your inhale, and then allow it to return and retreat on the exhale. But the floor helps you with awareness, with an awareness of this movement, of the breath in this movement. So belly breathing. That was a little bonus. That was not on my schedule, but. Go ahead and come up onto your elbows, bent elbows. The elbows are directly underneath the shoulder. You have a nice hammock from your waist to your shoulders. So the thoracic spine is in like a hammock shape, and just stay here and breathe. And I'll tell you why. This is a great position. This is a good position to watch TV in too, by the way, I think, for a while anyway. Maybe too much hyper extension of the neck, I don't know. Maybe read a book would be better. So here you are. This position uniquely allows a lot of breath. It allows the respiratory system to expand in ways that are not available in other positions. So this is a very nice practice to help with respiration. So while you're here, become aware of your breath. And if you, and breathe in and out, but if you feel this at your lower back, then I want you to make it smaller. Then don't bring yourself up quite so high. But if you're comfortable where you are, just take a couple more breaths. Your head is an extension of your spine. So you're looking at the floor. About a foot ahead of you. This is a a really nice massage, one more massage for the diaphragm. And then go ahead and come down to the floor. Put your arms alongside your hips, palms up. We're going to do a back extension and then add an airplane with your arms out in a T. But for now, your arms stay by your side. So Kathy's putting something underneath her head, which is probably a good idea, because you want to face straight down on this. Take an inhale to prepare, and then exhale, lift your upper back, your head, and your arms off the mat. Nice. Look down a little more, Kathy. So try to keep your spine, cervical spine, straight, in line with the thoracic and lumbar. Stay here for a couple breaths. Take an inhale to prepare to return, and then an exhale to return to the floor. Let's do one more of those, and we'll add the airplane. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, lift your chest, your head, your arms. Take some breaths here. And then return to the floor. So this could be a really small movement if your upper back is tight. It'll get better as you practice this. Take an inhale to prepare, and an exhale to lift your arms, your chest, your head. Lift your arms a little more if you can, Ace. Lift your arms a little more. Nice. And take some breaths here. And then inhale to prepare and exhale to return. Your palms are facing upward toward the ceiling. Now we're going to add airplane. So you're going to go ahead and come up. It's two movements though. You're going to come up with your arms beside your hips, and then you're going to, I'm going to cue all this, but you're going to open up into the arms into a T, like an airplane, and then hold, take some breaths there. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, the chest lifts, the arms, the head. Take a couple breaths. And then inhale to prepare, and exhale, bring your arms out, and then the palms come down facing the floor this time. Take some breaths here, very nice. Great for the back extensors, posture. Inhale to prepare, and exhale to return. How you doing, Barb? Oh, good. Got your signal. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, come up, back extension. I would do this every day if I were you. Take some breaths here, and then inhale to prepare, and exhale out into an airplane. Stay here. Take some breaths. Inhale to prepare, and exhale to return. Everyone come into a child's pose if a child's pose is comfortable. If it's not comfortable, you could roll onto your back and hug your knees side to side. But a child's pose, coming up, bending your knees and bringing your hips towards your heels, your arms, walk your arms out alongside your ears. You may need a brick underneath your head. Your knees can be wide or narrow. Just stay here and rest. Walk your hands to the left, both arms to the left. This is a stretch for the right latissimus dorsi. So you should feel it along the right armpit all the way down the side. So keep your head as close to the floor as you can, Kathy. So it's not, you're not coming up, you're walking around to the side. Feel the stretch there and come back to center and go to the other side. Left latissimus dorsi. So straight arms, as straight as, can you straighten your arms, Kathy? Yep, and take them farther. So you're walking your arms as far as you can, nice, and then hopefully you feel a stretch under the left armpit. Yeah. Come on back to center. Take the right arm and crawl it underneath the left armpit. Facing, I would face upward, I think. See if you can get your shoulder, your right shoulder on the floor and your arm. You may need a brick, or you may need to put your head on a brick. And go ahead and stretch. So I want you to stretch your right arm underneath you as far as you can. So crawl it out and then straighten your left arm overhead and crawl. So you're actually increasing the stretch here. So stretch your right arm. Both arms are straight. The right arm is tucked underneath and out. So crawl it out away from you, each of them, and then the other arm also overhead away from you. So just get a little more work out of your pose. Stay here and breathe. This is a stretch. We don't have to repeat it necessarily. You could in your home practice. More time, more repetition. Otherwise, just go ahead and switch to the other side. This is a great stretch for the upper back and the shoulders. So remember, you're doing more, you're taking it out, if you can, if it feels comfortable, a little more in your overhead arm, also a little more. And when you're finished with that, come up to standing with a brick, a yoga brick if you have one, or a book or something, or you can do it without. We're going to do some standing work. You need a railing, a shelf, or a wall beside you or in front of you, or a chair. A chair. If you're using a chair, it's not very stable. You just need to put it next to a wall. The first thing we're going to do is short foot. You probably should be taking your shoes off to do this. I mean, your socks off to do this. You're going to stand at the wall. We're not going to be on the brick yet, Kathy. So short foot is just standing. You can be facing the wall, or you can be side to the wall. But starting with your right foot, you're going to make sure your feet are parallel, toes facing forward. And with your right foot, you're going to lift all of your toes and spread them. And then drop them and press the toe pads into the floor and take some breaths. This is called short foot. You should feel the work along the arch that starts at the front of the foot and goes to the back of the foot. This is an arch that often fails us and gives us plantar fasciitis and some other foot issues. So this might be the most important thing you do in the class today, short foot. So release it and then do it again. Let's go to the left side this time. Sorry, Kathy, didn't cue that soon enough, but lift your toes, spread them, drop your toes, press on the toe pads, and take some breaths. Switch to the other side, right foot. Lift, spread, lower. Press on the toe pads. So if you look down and your metatarsal, the joint in the toes is buckling, you're pressing too hard, or you're pressing on the metatarsals instead of the toe pads. If I were you, I would spend a lot of time doing this move. You can do it when you're just standing in line somewhere. Do it a couple more times without my cues. You can do it standing in line. You can do it seated. The only thing about seated, well, this is and maybe you'll notice this. This is a movement that actually helps with core and glutes. So it's less effective on those things when you're seated, but you can do it when you're seated. It sure works the plantar fascia, the plantar arch. This will change your posture, improve your posture and your gait. Well, a lot of the things I do will improve your posture. We do in this class will improve posture and gait, but this is one of them. When you're finished with the next set, we're going to do balancing on one foot. So a lot of people have issues with balance. We actually lose our ability to balance, both the internal and external ability to balance as we age, I'm sorry to say. But we can restore it and with a simple balancing practice. So stand near the wall, and Kathy's already into it. So stand on the right foot, and then Kathy, do you want to move so that we can see you from the side? Either move you or move the camera. I don't care which. Okay, good. She's standing on her right foot. She takes her left foot behind her and hooks it around. And you want to try to stand without touching the wall, the railing, the shelf, whatever is your safe point. But you want to have a safe point in case you can't. So you want to build this up, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And if your arms start to wiggle, that's a good thing. Because that's part of your balancing, your arms. And you have an internal balancing mechanism, which if you wanted to, you could stand and close your eyes and you'll notice, either stand on both feet or one foot, and you'll notice. Well, let's go into stand on both feet, Close your eyes and notice that there's an internal balancing mechanism that helps you stay put. It should actually give you some sense of comfort, actually, that if you need to, you can rely on this. We also, use our vision to balance, but there's an internal mechanism that happens even without your eyes. Go ahead, go to the other side, stand on the left foot, and hook the right foot behind your ankle. Stay here. You can use your safe point if you need to, or not. Eventually, as you practice this is a good thing to practice in the grocery, well, who's going to the grocery store, but in the grocery store and using your cart as a safe point. I love standing in grocery store lines. There's so many things to do while you wait. Go ahead and get back on both feet. You still need a safe point. We're going to do heel lifts. If you have a therapy ball nearby, get it, and we can add that as a bonus, or as a, one ball though. What you're going to do here is you're going to stand in good posture with your feet parallel. Don't put that in yet, Kathy. So you're going to stand, and all you're going to do is lift your heels and then lower them. Lift and lower. And you can do this with or without touching your safe point. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And keep on going about 6 times. You could do it. You can do this at the grocery store, or at the sink when you're washing dishes. And just slowly go up and slowly down. Now, if you have a therapy ball, you can put it between your heels, and this is just an extra challenge, and you put it as far back as you can go between your heels, and then you continue the lifting, the heel lift. So this actually, by the way, is also working the toes. Working the toes, the ankles, your own ability to balance, and your posture. And go ahead and stop that. And this time I want you to do squats at the wall or at the railing. You're at a railing or a shelf. You want to hold on this time. It's not, so Kathy, I'd get off the book. I think getting off, people don't need the book. So just so you know, that was an extra prop. So Kathy, can you stand back a little bit? I think, and now hold on to the chair and stick your butt out and squat, letting the chair help you do that. If I were you, I would take my legs, come back up, because I think I missed a cue here. Take your legs and take them a little wider so that you feel that you're supported, and then take your toes a little wider than your heels so that you're Now, see if that helps you drop back down. And keep your arms straight. So I think the chair is not, you need a shelf or a door. So how's everybody else doing? Are they finding, okay, there's Ace. So I want you, go ahead, Ace, and make sure that your knees are not coming forward. So your butt goes backwards. The knees do not go forward. Try to keep now take your butt forward, backwards, sorry. So there you go. And if you had a shelf or a railing, something to hang on to, it would be better than the wall, but the wall is better than nothing, basically. So go ahead and just do it on the wall. Come on back. Or you could hold on to a doorknob. Try your doorknob over there and see if that would be better. Because what you really need is something, as long as if the doorknob is stable, let's see something. Is your doorknob, will it open on you accidentally?
No.
No? So go ahead and hold onto the door with both hands, I guess, and drop down. And see, so you need something like that to allow you to drop. And then your arms are straight and your butt goes back and it's a squat as far as you can come down. And as over time, as you practice, what happened to Dana? She left. We lost her. As you practice over time, find places that works for you. You can find a railing, a bookcase shelf, but don't pull the bookcase over on you, a counter, and then use this. Nice, Ace, that's good. You got it. Use this to practice squatting. You don't have to do in fact, in some ways, I think some of these alternative squats are better than just a regular squat. And now we're going to do a hip hinge at the wall or the shelf. So you want to stand facing the wall or a chair or a railing, and with your arms out in front of you, at shoulder height, and then add about another foot. So come back from the wall, Kathy. Come back and put your arms out in front of you and a little bit more, so by about a foot more. So that's the distance between you and the wall, because you're going to hip hinge forward, then you want to do it, and then bring your arms out in front of you. So, okay, so now go ahead and bend forward at the hip. Take the arms down. So the arms, okay, feel the hip, put your finger on the hip joint, and now fold forward, and now extend your arms. And the arms should be straight, and I want you to climb up the wall a little bit. Climb up the wall, and the arms are straight, and maybe you should have bent back a little farther. Can you see? Because your elbows are bent. But start all over again, because if you're already compensating with something else if you just pull back like that. Bend forward, arms, oops. So how are other people doing? So the arms go straight forward onto the wall. And climb up the wall and try to get length between your hips and your fingers on a wall. Great for the lower back and the arms. This is a big shoulder stretch. So, Kathy, you may want to start all over and bring your legs a little bit farther, closer together. Not from there though. From your original starting position. So the important part here is to start with your hip hinge, and then add your arms. If you make adjustments later, you're compensating, or you could be compensating. Looks good, Barb. And go ahead and you can wiggle your hips or bend your knees or both. So hip hinge, arms out in front of you, touching the wall, the railing, or the back of a chair. Find a straight line. Try to find a straight line here. And hopefully you'll feel a nice stretch, but this is all the way along the spine, basically. Make sure your head is an extension of your thoracic spine, so don't drop your head. And don't lift it. It's got to be neutral, or you're trying for neutral. Just enjoy that stretch, and then once you're finished, find your way onto the floor, on your back, comfortable. If you liked having your legs up on a chair, you can do that. We're going to close with a 61-point Yoga Nidra guided meditation. So lie on your back, comfortable and warm. If it's cold in your house, you may want to add a blanket. I'm going to guide you through a 61-point guided meditation. You're going to move your attention to the points that I mentioned, but don't move your body. This is Yoga Nidra. It's a relaxing meditation practice. Start with your breath, breathing in and out and noticing that. Observing your abdomen as it rises and falls. Now bring your awareness to the center of your eyebrows. Center of your throat. Right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, right shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, right knee, right ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, left knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This concludes our 61-point guided meditation. Start to notice your breath again. Extend your legs and keep them together. Bring your arms overhead by your ears. Stretch in both directions, trying to create some space between your pelvis and your rib cage. Wiggle and stretch. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your right side and your left side. And then go ahead and hug your right knee to your chest. And your left knee to your chest. Hug both knees. Rock from side to side. And then roll to one side. Roll towards the camera if that's available. Stay here in a fetal position for just 60 seconds. And then use your top hand to bring yourself up to seated. And find a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to your heart. Glide your occipital ridge over the top, the first cervical spine. The chin drops. We're going to close the class by saying to each other, Namaste. Oops. I guess I could have unmuted you all. Let's say it again. Let's say it again. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, this was a good class. Oh.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, have a good day.
Go home and practice. Okay, go home and practice. Well, that's stay home and practice. How are you doing, Ace? How was the class for you?
Oh, it was good. It was a great way to start the day. I've been in lockdown for like 6 days now, so.
Right.
Yeah, what part of San Francisco are you in?
I'm in Alameda, which is this little island off of Oakland, so.
Yeah, my brother lives down there, and he said, yeah, I talked to him last week. He said they'd been in lockdown. Now your whole state's down.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
so gotta start, finding
doing
ways
something.
to connect with people and do some exercise, and this was great.
Thank you very much. And this record, I'm gonna unrecord and or stop recording, and this recording will be available to you guys. So and join me on Thursday if you can.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.